Good afternoon. Just wait for people to start funneling in. Hope everybody's having a good day. I am so excited. It is summertime. Best time for brunch. Best time. So it is nice outside. It's like 85 degrees here in Southern California. Hope it's warm where you are. All right. I'm going to wait about a minute or two, see who joins us, and then I'm going to just get started. You can always catch us on the replay. Every week, it's on my YouTube channel under the live section. So if for whatever reason you are unable to join during the time, you can always catch us on the replay. So all right. Let's look at YouTube channel under the live. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to value our time today. So today, it's exciting. We're talking about building your client attraction system. So that is such a big point that, pain point that a lot of us have is how do we find or attract the right client? So let me share my screen. Bear with me. All right. Well, welcome back to Boss Sis Brunch, Queens. Today, we're talking about something that almost every business owner wants. It's more leads, it's more inquiries, more potential clients. You may be the best at what you do, but not enough people know that you exist. So even when somebody is interested, they often disappear before taking the next step. So today I'm going to show you one of the simplest ways to fix that. So this is what I like to call the client attraction system. It is a simple system that helps you attract potential clients, collect contact information, stay connected, and create opportunities for future sales. And we're not just talking about it, we're actually going to build one together. I'm going to show you exactly what to do to build it so that by the end of this workshop, you'll have a clear roadmap of how to create your own, how to create the free resource, how to distribute it, where to send people, and what happens after they download it. So before we jump in, we can go around the brunch table and go ahead and drop in the chat your name, what you do, and what your biggest challenge is when it comes to getting new clients. So I'll go first. My name is Chelsea. I am in marketing and automation. And my biggest challenge is staying visible consistently while also serving my clients, creating content, and managing everything else in my business. So that is probably something that a lot of us struggle with. So let's see if there's anybody posting anything in the chat. No, not yet. All good. If you are watching on the replay, make sure to post it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So grab your coffee, your tea, your matcha, your mimosa, or whatever you're sipping today, because if getting more clients feels harder than it should for you, then today's workshop is really what's going to help you succeed. So let's get into it. I'm going to take a drink of my mimosa. This is coconut water. Not drinking right now. But okay, let's look. So over the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about the invisible assistant. So if you're new and joining us, and this is the first time you're joining us today, the invisible assistant is Just simply, it's a system of, or a collection of systems, tools, resources that help your business keep moving behind the scenes. So one of the first jobs of the invisible assistant is visibility. Because before someone can hire you, before they can book a call with you, before they can join your email list, they need to know you exist, right? And that's where a lot of us business owners get stuck, because attracting new people into your business can often feel inconsistent. Some months referrals are flowing, they're coming through. People are telling others about your great services, and then some months they're not. Sometimes you're posting regularly, and then sometimes life gets busy. Sometimes you're networking and meeting new people. And then sometimes you're just focused on serving the clients that you already have. And before you know it, you're wondering where your next client is coming from. And that's why visibility is so important. Visibility creates opportunities. It helps new people discover you. And the more opportunities you can create for people to find you, the more opportunities you create for future clients. So today's workshop is all about building one of the simplest visibility systems that you can have. And it's a system that helps people discover you, connect with you, and stay in touch with you long after they leave your website or social media page. So if visibility is the first job of the invisible assistant, the next question becomes, well, how do we stay connected with people after they discover us? So that's where the client attraction system comes in. So again, last week we talked a little bit about how important it is for people to find you. But finding you and hiring you are two very different things. Think about your own life for a minute. Have you ever discovered a business, followed them on social media, downloaded something and visited their website, and then not purchase anything right away? I mean, I've done this so many times. I follow people for a while before I buy something, sometimes even up to a year or more, just kind of watching what they do, and getting to understand them, right? So most of us have done this. We might have been interested, but life gets busy. Maybe we needed more information. Maybe we needed more time. Maybe it just wasn't the right moment. The same thing happens with our potential clients. Someone might discover you today and not be ready to work with you until next month or 3 months from now or 6 months from now or a year from now. That's why visibility by itself isn't enough. We also need a way to stay connected, a way where you can continue to provide value, a way where you can build trust over time, because it takes time for people to there's so much out there, and there's so many moving parts, and there's so many people selling similar things, and they want to know that they can trust you before they give you their money. Every person who visits your website, engages with your content, or meets you at an event is a potential opportunity. But the challenge is if they leave and we have no way to reconnect with them, that opportunity often disappears. So that's why we're building this client attraction system today. So what is a client attraction system? It sounds like this big, massive thing, but honestly, just think of it as a path that guides people from discovering you to eventually becoming a client. So let's walk through what that looks like. First, someone discovers you. So it could be on social media, a networking event, maybe somebody referred you. They might have found you on Google, but now they know that you exist. The next step is giving them a reason to stay connected. So instead of hoping they remember you later, we offer them something valuable that helps them solve an immediate problem that they have, or take a next step forward. When they request that resource, they share their contact information with you. So now you have a way to stay connected. From there, your follow-up system can then continue the conversation through emails, through text messages, through other resources that you may have, or through reminders. about things that you have going on, or a new offer you have, or a webinar, or anything like that. So over time, trust begins to build. And when they're ready for help, they're much more likely to think of you. So you're staying on top of mind. So this system is about creating a simple journey that makes it easy for the right people to find you, to stay connected, and to take the next step when they're ready. And today we're going to build the first part of that journey together. Okay? All right. Oops, went backwards. So let's talk about this part. You need to give people a reason to stay connected. So one of the simplest ways to do that is by offering something valuable that helps them solve a problem or take a step forward. You may have heard the term lead magnet before, and it sounds technical, and really honestly, the idea actually is very simple. A lead magnet is all it is something valuable you offer in exchange for a way to stay connected. So think about what usually happens when you meet someone at a networking event. You might exchange business cards, tell them to follow you on social media, or maybe send them to your website. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. But the challenge with that is that all of those things require the other person to do the work. So they have to remember to visit your website. They have to remember to follow you. They have to remember to call you when they're ready. And a lead magnet is very different than that because it gives them an immediate next step. So instead of saying, here's my card, you're saying, here's something that can help you. And so it could be a guide. It could be a checklist. It could be a quiz. It could be a event. It could be a in-person event or a free webinar, similar to like what we're doing today. It could be a consultation. It could be a free trial or a sample. So if you're selling a physical product or even a service, you can do a trial for that, so they can test it out. So now you're giving them something valuable and you're creating a connection at the same time. They get the helpful resource and you get a way to stay connected with them with their phone number or email. And another thing it does is it actually gives them a small preview of what it's like to work with you and the value that you provide. So think about this. This is always an example I like to use is if you're like me, you're always shopping. And if you're walking through, let's say you're walking through Costco, and you know how they have all those little kiosks at the end of all the aisles, and they hand you a sample. And next thing you know, you taste the sample, and that one tiny bite of teriyaki chicken or whatever it is, right, might have you change your dinner plans that night, right? I can't tell you how many times I taste the sample, and then I go on and okay, I'm focused on getting whatever I need to get, but the whole time I'm thinking about that damn teriyaki chicken, and before you know it, it's in my cart. So I might have had a specific reason that I came to Costco for, but now that teriyaki chicken is on my mind the whole time I'm there. So a lead magnet, that is a lead magnet, and that works, and it works. That's how all lead magnets work. It's a small sample of your expertise. The goal isn't necessarily to sell you the product immediately, but just to start a conversation or make you say, oh, that's really good. I need to try that. Or now I want to buy it, because when someone takes that next step, you move beyond awareness. You've started building a connection. And this is where your invisible assistant starts to go to work. Instead of hoping someone remembers to visit your website or follow you on social media, or call you later, your invisible assistant gives them an easy next step and creates a way to stay connected. Because every relationship starts with a connection, and every connection starts with when someone raises their hand and says, I'd like to learn more. Okay. I'm going to check the comments real quick, see if anybody is on. Sorry, I just want to make sure anybody has anything. Hi, Beverly. Love it. Thank you. Yes, you're absolutely right. She said my biggest challenge is targeting the right market. All right, perfect. Okay, so oops. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I'm on the right place. Sorry, y'all. I just want to make sure I said hello to whoever has joined us. Okay, so what makes a great lead magnet? So we know what it is, but the question really is, what should I create? Okay. And so this is where people get stuck. And a lot of people think they need to create something like a huge ebook, a 20-page guide, a course, or something super complicated. But honestly, it doesn't need to be that complicated. And nowadays we have ways to make it a lot quicker than we used to. The best lead magnets are usually very, very simple. So they help someone solve one problem. Okay, these are the 4 things. They help someone solve one problem. Not every problem, one. They provide a quick win. So something that helps a person move forward or gain clarity or save time or avoid some kind of mistake. They're easy to consume because most people aren't downloading a 50-page PDF and reading it from cover to cover. They're just not gonna do that. It's too long. It's too much. They get overwhelmed and simply don't have enough time. Okay, so just make sure it's very easy to consume, and then they naturally lead to your service. So, for example, if you're a realtor, they might create a first-time home buyer checklist. That checklist doesn't help someone buy the entire house. It simply helps them take the first next step, right? A therapist might create a guide called 5 Simple Ways to Reduce Stress During a Busy Week. An esthetician might create the morning skincare routine checklist. A business coach might create a weekly CEO planning template. So if you notice anything about any of those things, none of these solve the entire problem. They simply help the person make progress. And that's exactly why what makes them valuable. It's to not give everything away, because of course you're going to want to sell them a service. That's why you're in business, right? But the goal is to help someone experience a quick win and see the value of your expertise. Okay. So now that we know what makes a great lead magnet, let's talk about the part that stops a lot of people from ever creating one. A lot of times you're going to sit down at a blank screen. I have done this. What should I create? What should I call it? What do I put inside of it? And before you know it, they spent hours thinking about it and still nothing has been created. And this is where AI becomes a big part of your invisible assistant. It can't replace your expertise. It can't replace your experience, but, and honestly, and also, but remember this, it can't replace your relationships with your clients, but it can help you get your ideas out of your head and onto paper much faster. So instead of spending days brainstorming and outlining and writing, AI can help create the first draft in minutes. So think of AI as your brainstorming partner. You bring the expertise, and AI just helps you organize it in a way that is easy to consume for your audience. So today we're gonna create one of these lead magnets together. We're gonna walk through the entire process. We'll brainstorm the idea, we'll create the lead magnet, and we'll turn it into something beautiful. And then we're gonna create a way for people to get it, and then set up a simple follow-up system so you can stay connected. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a second so I can show you. Exit out of that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm pulling up my chat GPT so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So you can go, okay, let's see. Okay. So if you look at this, it says, I'm a realtor helping first time home buyers, right? Give me 10 lead magnet ideas that would help potential buyers take the next step and naturally lead to a future conversation. For each idea, include title, description, and why it would be valuable. So I just picked a realtor as an example. I'm actually part of a women's networking group, and in this networking group, one of the ladies there is a realtor. So I picked on her. So I wanted to show you this example. So okay, so in here, it gave me 10 options, right? So it says first time home buyer roadmap. How much house can I really afford? Calculator and guide. The hidden costs of buying a home checklist. First time buyer savings plan. And in here, it has this description and why it's valuable. So the home buyer's readiness quiz. So there's so many options in here. 10 first-time home buyer programs you need to know about. So it gives you quite a few ideas. And then here at the bottom, it actually gives you some suggestions for the top 3 that it thinks might be the best. So in here, let's see here. What I did is I said, okay, let's go with the first time home buyers roadmap and make it a checklist. Help me generate a prompt in Gamma to create the guide. It should be no longer than 5 pages and should include a call to action. So I don't know if you don't know what a call to action is, all that means is it's an action that you're asking people to take at the end of whatever that is, your lead magnet. So at the end of this particular guide, you want to ask them to do something. Okay. So then, and let me explain. So it gave me a prompt for Gamma. So let me tell you what Gamma is. So Gamma, and I'm going to pull this over here. First of all, let me show you that there's a prompt. It gave me this long prompt and it gives me everything about what's in the checklist, right? And so I copied it, and let me pull over Gamma. Okay. So Gamma is basically it's an AI tool that allows you to create documents and presentations. It also can create websites and stuff for you. It's not the greatest at that. So there's better tools for that. But for simple documents, PDF documents and presentations, it does an amazing job. So I'm going to show you, and by the way, it's free or for up to a certain point. I think you get a certain amount of credits. I don't know if you can see up here, it says 234 credits. I have the free version. It doesn't cost me anything. And it hasn't stopped me yet. So I have some credits where I can use. So you can go in here and then what I did, and I'm just going to show you kind of my process. So I went to create new in AI and it says generate. And then here's where you can select presentation, web page, document, social, graphics. So I selected document. And then document, I pasted that prompt that ChatGPT wrote for me. I pasted it in here. I'm not going to do it now because I don't, it takes some time to generate it. So I want to, oops. So I want to just show you what I created. It takes about 5 minutes or so to create, maybe less, just depending on how long the document is and the complexity of it. Aren't you giving me the home? There it is. Okay, so hi Maya. I just saw your comment. Hey girl. All right. So this is the first time homebuyer checklist it created, and literally I just, like I said, put the prompt in, and it has a picture in the background. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of light, but it has a picture in the background, a step-by-step guide to buying your first home with confidence. And it actually has step 1, prepare your finances, gives them a checklist on what they need to do, assemble your team. So the people that you need help with in order to buy a home, right? Your realtor, your mortgage lender, you need to get pre-approved for financing, that kind of thing, right? Then it has find the right home. What are you looking for in your home? So Get the keys, what comes next, or so it gives you some detailed information in regards to something that's helpful for them that they can use. So at the end, here's a call to action, ready to take the next step, and then it actually has where you can book a strategy call through that. So now that you have the PDF, now what do you do, right? Okay, so what I would do is I would go back here to, let me take this back. You're going to go back to ChatGPT. I keep forgetting this isn't touchscreen. One screen is touchscreen, one is not. So I'm making sure I'm trying to select touchscreen on one that isn't. Okay, so after that, I said, okay, now I need to create a landing page or a page where people can actually download it. So what I do is I wrote, what do I write on the lead magnet registration page? And on there, it wrote out everything that needs to be, all the copy that needs to be on the registration page. And I said, okay, write a prompt. And I'll show you the tool that I'm using. It's called Go High Level. And AI Studio is basically a tool that will, when you put in a prompt, it will create a website, a full website or a landing page for you in minutes. So I'm going to have it build it for me through my Saasy Boss software, which is backed by Go High Level. So let me show you. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me show you the prompt first. So it gives me the full prompt, right? So I copy that prompt and I go into, okay, let me bring this over here for you to see. So this is my Saasy Boss software. So you're going to go in here into AI Studio. Just know right now this particular tool is still in beta, which basically means they're still testing. It's brand new, but it does such an amazing job. So what I went in here and I put the prompt in. I literally just typed it. I just copied it into this box right here, and this is what it created for me. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go up to the top. Come on, scroll up. So this is where I put in the prompt, and it literally built me something in like, I want to say like 2 or 3 minutes. It was so fast. So this is the landing page that you would send people to in order to download the guide. So, and then they would just put in their first name, their email, and their phone number, and then they get their free checklist. If it, look at on here, it has what's inside of it, how, everything they need to know to go from browsing online to holding your keys to your new home. So and it goes up through all of the things they need. The checklist is perfect for you if, and then start your home ownership journey with confidence and get instant access. So let me put in my information. So I'm just going to put in my info here, get free checklist. So on here, it took me to, your checklist is on the way. So it took me to a thank you page. Your checklist is on the way. Check your email, right? And then at the bottom of it, it says, do you want personalized guidance? Book a strategy call. So that same call to action is on the thank you page. So now that you have their email, you actually would go in and you would set up. This is where it gets a little technical, but don't worry, it's not scary. So in my software, let me go in here. So that form that they submitted, you would actually, and let me go back to so just so you know, if you ever were to use the software, it's under here under automation. And then I'd just created a workflow. So what a workflow basically is just basically saying, hey, if this action happens, then it tells the automated system to what to do. Send an email, send a reminder, send a text message, that kind of thing. So let me show you. So we're in here in the automation. Pull it up. So all I said is, okay, a form was submitted. This particular form was for that was connected to that landing page. So when somebody submitted this form, it adds a tag. So basically a tag, it allows you to segment your email list. So for instance, if you want to email just people on your email list that are directly connected to just this lead magnet, you can send them, just to those people and not to the whole email list. So that's all that means, is it tags them so they're in this particular segment. So it adds the tag. So I put realtor example as an example, and then it sends the email, and then I just ask chat to create a quick email for me. And of course, I would recommend, don't just copy and paste. Please look it over. Make sure it's in your voice, in your brand voice, the way that you would talk. But it at least will compose the bones of it in that way, and then you can edit it and change it and make it your own. But in here, it actually has the information, and then it just says, here's a link to download my guide. And then you could just link it here, or you could actually attach it as well. So whatever was easiest for you. But once this is done, and then in here it actually has about the strategy call, because remember, that's our call to action. I can insert my calendar link in there and all of that, and then save. And then, okay, they've got the guide. That's cool. Now what, right? But you've got them on your email list, which is super, super, super important. We'll talk about this on a future Boss Sis Brunch, but I just want to just plug in and say this. It's so important to have an email list, because you never know what's going to happen with social media, right? You don't own any of these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any of them. You don't own them. So it's great when you have subscribers and followers and all of that. But if for whatever reason, let's say you get hacked, or if, let's say like TikTok, it's on the chopping block, at least here in America, you're not sure if it'll disappear tomorrow. At least you have those those contacts, and you own them. That's your information. That's your information that you own. So it's super important to have an email list just for that. I cannot stress that enough, because social media is great, but it's a free platform, and you don't own rights to any of that information, honestly. Okay, so you send that email, right? And then what I would do is then I say, okay, now wait 2 days. So I actually just put in a step that just says, hey, I want you to wait for a specified period of time for 2 days. And then I want you to, I want you to send a second email. And it could be whatever you want to do. You want to give them more value. If you want to talk to them about whatever it is, in regards to, in this particular example, it's a realtor. So let's say you want to say, are you ready to buy a home? And you want to go into more detail about that. You can break down different parts of what you already talked about in the guide, but maybe go into more detail and give your expertise. But it's just a way to still stay connected with your folks. Okay. All right. So that is how you would build a lead magnet super quickly. I mean, I did all of this work within, I want to say it was like maybe an hour, and that's probably less than that. It was like 30 minutes to an hour for me to build all of this. And of course, you may want to take a little bit more time for you to edit anything or make it more in your branding, or and in the prompts, actually, like for chat knows my brand. So for the prompts, I can make sure that it has all of the information as far as like my brand colors, my brand fonts, all of that. So that way, when it feeds it to AI Studio or to Gamma, it has all of my information. Gamma, like I said, I was using the free version, so it's a little limited as far as branding it to your colors and in your fonts and all of that. You kind of have to select a certain templates that they have, but if you had the paid version, you can get a little bit more intent, a little bit more specific and personalized. Another tool you can use outside of Gamma is Claude. Claude is great to create simple PDFs. I would not use it for photos or anything like to create. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you want to put photos or anything on there, Claude's not great at creating those type of things. But if it's a simple written PDF, it actually does a really good job with checklists and so those kind of things. It could still do it in your branding and your colors and all of that. It's just it doesn't do well with generating images. Yes, it's the lead magnet creation that gets a little complicated in my brain. I get it, Beverly. Yes, it can be a frustrating process, especially in the past. I mean, I used to spend hours on Canva creating lead magnets, like probably like 4 or 5 hours creating a lead magnet. And honestly, it's a free resource. You don't want to spend too much time on it. You want it to be something that is valuable, but people want the information more than, because I'm so big on making sure that things look branded and look a certain way and are beautiful, which are great. It's important, but the information is what's the most important thing. So done is better than perfect. I always say that. Done is better than perfect. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Hold on real quick. Let me get my, hold on. Got everything open and close all of these things. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. All right. Okay. So that is, for the most part, what we've done today. We're pretty much at the end. I do want to recap what we built today. We started with an idea. Remember, you have the expertise. You are the expert in your industry, in your field. We just use AI to brainstorm for us. And then we turn that idea into a lead magnet. And then we created a way for people to download it. And then we created a system that helps people stay connected with us afterward. The great thing about this, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to get it done. So this week, my challenge to you is to create one lead magnet idea, create the first version, give people a way to get it. So your landing page, and then emailing it to people, and then share the link to the landing page. You can, if I were you, if I've seen people put it on their business cards or on flyers, like a QR code, and people can scan it, and then bam, you got their information. And once they put their information in, you got it immediately. So I always recommend to do that. But that helps you to start building connections. So put it out there in the world. You never know. And the sooner you do it, the sooner people start discovering you. So let me ask anybody in the chat, what's one lead magnet idea that you're excited to create? Do you already have an idea? Is there anything that sparking your making your wheels turn? I'm pulling it up right now, the chat, so I can see here too. Yeah, Beverly, what isn't? I just need to be patient. And yes, I'm a perfectionist too. Just need to do it like I do everything else. That's exactly right. Only way to do it is to do it. Yeah, well, I can't wait to see the lead magnet ideas you have. If you're watching this on the replay, or if you later on want to share your lead magnet, please put it in the comments. I would love to support you and check it out and give any feedback. I'm here to help. My goal is to really get people, just get you visible, get you in front of your right clients, get you in front of your right audience, and build a system behind it that not only attracts them, but keeps them in your ecosystem so that you can always connect with them. So I'm excited for what you are going to create. Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to give you a preview of what we're doing next week. Because today was focused on attracting leads. We built the resource, we created a landing page, we created a way to collect the contact information. But getting the lead is only the beginning, right? So just because someone downloads the guide doesn't mean they're ready to be a client tomorrow. Again, we've talked about this. Most people need time. They need to trust you. They need reminders. They need to hear from you consistently. And that's where many business owners get stuck. So they do all the work to attract the lead, but then they don't know what to do next. Should I email them now? Should I text them? How often should I follow up? What should I say? How do I stay connected without being pushy or salesy? I hear that all the time. Like, people feel like they're don't want to follow up because they don't want to feel like they're salesy. And I get it. People feel like salesy is a bad thing, but honestly, sales is a powerful thing. And if you're a business owner, you got to know sales. It's either you're selling or you're being sold to. You're in one of the two categories. So you've got to know sales, and you've got to know how to present it in a way, of course, that doesn't sound sleazy, but just showing them why either your service or product satisfies or is a solution to their problem, alleviates a problem that they have, or gets them to a desire that they want to be at, right? So I'm going to show you how to create a simple follow-up system next week, and that helps you stay on top of mind, build trust, and guide potential clients into the next step. Because we want to create relationships that eventually turn into clients. That's the goal, right? So I hope you'll join me next week to go into more detail about that. Okay. I'd love to open it up for questions. If you have any questions, maybe you're wondering what type of lead magnet will work for your business. Maybe you're trying to figure out what to offer, how to build it, where to share it. Any questions? You could have a question about what we covered today. There's no silly questions. I'd love to hear what you have. Feel free to drop it in the chat. And if you don't have any, I do have a few. I jotted down a few like FAQs, frequently asked questions, that I have around this subject when I've presented this before. And honestly, it might spark up some questions in your head. So I'm going to, tell you a few of them. So one of the questions is like, what's one lead magnet idea that you're, let me see. Sorry. What if I don't have an email list yet? I would say that's okay. Everyone starts at zero. Everyone. So the purpose of the lead magnet is to actually help you begin building this email list. So that's totally fine. That's why we have the lead magnet to begin with. I would focus on creating something valuable and then sharing it consistently, and then you'll start to build that email list. What if nobody downloads it is another question I get, which that's usually a visibility problem. So if people don't know it exists, they can't download it, right? So that's why you need a plan to share it on social media, on networking, partnerships, events, website, and any other channels that you have. Again, in future weeks, I'm going to go over some visibility tactics, how to create a system that gets people from social media through your system, to download the lead magnet, to then being a part of your ecosystem and part of your what we call an offer stack, going up through the different offers, from the free offer all the way to from maybe a low ticket offer to a higher ticket offer at the very top of your stack. What else? How long should my lead magnet be? I would, again, shorter is usually better. You don't want to teach everything you know. That's the hard thing for me. I am such a detailed person. I want to make sure everybody has the details and the information, but I had to learn, okay, pull back. And that's part of the reason why AI has helped me so much, is because it has helped me organize my thoughts, because I would literally word vomit on a PDF if it weren't for the AI helping me organize it and pull back a little bit and just giving a little bit of a taste, not the whole thing. The whole thing comes from a paid offer, not from a free offer. Okay. What should I create? Start with a question that you answer all the time when you're thinking about what you should create. Think about the first problem your client needs help with solving. What do you hear all the time? That often becomes your best lead magnet idea. Let's see. Oh, I get this one too. Is like, can I use Canva instead of Gamma? And we talked about this. Yes, you don't have to use any particular tool. Gamma is an option. Claude is an option. Canva, Gamma, all of them are great options. It's really what works best for you. The goal is just creating the resource, but not the specific tool. So if you can find that one works better for you. I did say it used to take me a long time to create in Canva. It can. But there are templates out there, so you can utilize a template, and there's ways where you can. I have like my branding kit uploaded in my Canva, so I can just select one button and it changes it all to my branding. I can show that in a later time, but yeah, there's ways where you can personalize it, and then you just need to copy the information. Again, you can use ChatGPT or Claude or any tool to help you with writing it, and then just put it in there. And again, I would just make sure it's in your voice, but use the tools. They are there for you. We are in 2026. It is imperative that you get on bandwagon, or you'll get left behind when it comes to AI and utilizing them to make your life easier. What is another question? Let's see. How often should I email my list? I get that question a lot. Consistency matters more than frequency. So if you have one helpful email each week, it's better than sending nothing for 3 months. But it's also better than if you people don't want to be bombarded either. So I wouldn't send 3 a day or something like that. So I would say 1 to 3 a week is a great way. It just really it depends on your audience, it depends on what you're selling, it depends on what you're sending them. If you have an upcoming event or upcoming offer or launch or something going on, of course you can email them a little more often. But I wouldn't overdo it, but I surely wouldn't not email them at all. Another question I get is, what if I don't have a website? You don't need a full website. You don't need a full website to get started. A simple landing page where people can request your lead magnet is enough for now. Just get started. What else? How do I know if my lead magnet is working? Ask yourself, are people downloading it? Are people opening their emails? Are your emails, are they responding? are people booking calls? Are they taking the next step? Then yes, it's working. Because the goal, again, this is a free resource. So the goal is to, like I said, open the conversation and get them to take that next step. One question I got, like I told you, I did somewhat of this presentation last week for a networking group I'm part of. And one of the questions I got was like, how many lead magnets should I have, or how often should I change it? And I was like, well, it depends on your industry. So if you're in a fast-paced industry like tech, AI, some of those kind of things, or some of the things that are going on in those industries, they're fast-paced. So you may need to change it up a lot faster than somebody who's in an industry that doesn't change very much. Gosh, I don't know what industry that is now. Everything is moving so fast with every industry nowadays. But I would say, but don't do it so much because you're going to confuse people. I would stick to maybe one new lead magnet every 3 to 6 months. It doesn't need to be that often, unless of course, unless the information is outdated. But if the information is still relevant, yeah, I think you don't have to continue to change it. Of course, if you do one that's seasonal or anything like that, then that's when I would say change it. All right. So let me see. Is there any questions? I already created my Dream Starter Guide. Wonderful. Yes, yes, yes. My worst at sales, retraining my brain for that. I'll get with you about lead magnet and capture page difference. Talk soon. Love that. Okay. Thanks, Beverly. Okay. So now, before we go on, we always end every good brunch ends this way. We need to do a toast. Raise your coffee, your tea, your water, your mimosa, whatever you're sipping today. Here's to building businesses that don't depend on us, remembering every single thing. Here's to creating systems that help the right people find us. Here's to staying connected with potential clients instead of hoping they remember us. Here's to taking imperfect action. Not waiting until everything is perfect, not waiting until we know exactly what we're doing, right? Not waiting until we have more time, just taking the next step. May your business become more consistent. May your opportunities continue to grow. And may your invisible assistant help you create more clients, more freedom, more time for the things that matter the most. Cheers, Boss Sis. Okay. I'm so excited for what you're going to build. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Oh my gosh, it's already July 1st at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Boss Sis Brunch. Can't wait to talk to you then. Have a great rest of your day. All right.